Ireland's new de-lifing program that could possibly be coming in the future. Now, I dropped a community post last night and it had somewhat mixed comments on it. Some people were saying this was disgusting. They totally understood what it meant. And other people thought that this program possibly could just be for people with certain health conditions. Now, I have to be very careful with my words. You understand how this works. So, I mean, we're going to break this down today. We're going to try to understand this a little bit more. I understand it. If anybody understands the MAID program in Canada, they will know what Canada is doing to its people at the minute. It's absolutely disgusting. You have people with severe mental health conditions and people that have actually fought for their country and people who've been in the military and they've lived a life, they've paid their tax, and they're met with a phone call saying, well, here is an option. You can take this option to go de-life yourself. And they're 100% physically fit. They might have mental health conditions, certain physical conditions, but they're fit. They're fit in life. And they're told, well, this is an option for you. Now, whenever I say this information to people, they don't believe it. You know, there's a lot of people still with their head buried in the sand in regards to what's going on in the world. They would rather, you know, be involved with pointless, needless beefs, either online or in real life. What I would say to those people is you really need to eradicate your ego, walk away from everything that you think that you know, and actually start looking into what's going on in the world. Because what's going to happen is you're going to wake up, it's going to be too late, and you're going to think, oh my God, why didn't I listen to that stupid idiot? Stray cabbage. But first off, guys, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and share if you're watching on YouTube. Massive respect to everybody that leaves a comment, likes and shares. These are beautiful people. And thanks to everybody that has donated in the Buy Me a Coffee. You don't need to do that. I'm not here for the money. But massive respect for anybody that does that. You know, this channel isn't monetized and I don't know if I'm going to monetize it, but you know, for anybody that donates, these are beautiful people and thank you very much. If you're watching this on Rumble or any other social media platform, same logic applies. Make sure to just give me a heart, a like, a share, and leave a comment and tell me what you think because your opinion matters to me. Now, you all know me. I come out with crazy words like extinctionists, and these people actually really do exist. They would much rather that there's only 10,000 people on planet Earth. And this is actually promoted through progressiveness around the world. That's why you have to be intolerant to this stuff. If you don't believe me, listen to this quote. This is a quote from Prince Philip. In the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus to contribute something to solving overpopulation. So think about that. And just to let you know, the whole world's population could fit into Loch Ness in Scotland. Think about that. So we do live in a world of these weird elites that are somewhat extinctionists. They do not value your life and they would do anything to make sure that you're not here. Now, when it comes to the food programs, overeating of sugar, McDonald's, these are things that you need to know. These things are set up to basically shorten your life and to not have a great quality of life. There's a reason why hospitals around the world have contracts with McDonald's. Oireachtas Committee recommend legislation for assisted dying and euthanasia. The Oireachtas Committee on Assisted Dying is set to recommend that both assisted S and euthanasia be introduced in Ireland. Now, one thing you need to know is that there is a massive difference between assisted dying and assisted S. Now, I have to be very careful with my words here. So I'll highlight it. Assisted S, assisted de-lifing. They're two separate things. Now, anybody that knows what's going on in Canada, you will realize that what that term actually means that in Canada, anybody over the age of 18 and has cognitive abilities to think and make decisions can basically walk in and have this done to them. The legislation would primarily apply to a person diagnosed with an illness or medical condition that is incurable, irreversible, progressive, and advanced, and will cause death within 6 months. Now, I am in agreement with that. There's some people that don't want to go through suffering. I wouldn't want to go through that myself. I don't even want to think about that. This is a very hard conversation to have. So I would agree that if there's cases there where it's going to ease the suffering of people that are going through severe illnesses, I would welcome that type of euthanasia. The time limit is likely set at 12 months for neurocognitive conditions. The committee says the proposed legislation should also state that the illness must be causing suffering which cannot be relieved in a way that the ill person finds tolerable. In this case, the person would be eligible to be assessed for assisted dying, and it would all be overseen by a medical professional. Assisted delifing would involve the person who wants to die taking the action to end their life. Now, they've just crept that in there because they didn't want to go into great detail about this. One little sentence in many, many paragraphs. Now, the devil is in the detail. So as I've just stated, that I have no issue whatsoever with the euthanasia program being brought in for people that have diseases that are not curable, and it's going to cause them great suffering. So we're in agreement with that. Some people aren't in agreement with that, but I will agree with you on that. But this here is the devil in the detail. Assisted delifing does not mean euthanasia. What this means is anybody over the age of 18 can walk in, as long as they've got the cognitive abilities to make decisions on their own. Then the government will basically help them out with their issue that they're having. Now, when I say help them out, I'm not talking about mental health help or medical help. I'm talking about helping them do the really bad deed of delifing themselves. Now, that's what that means. And there's a lot of people that really don't understand this. When they're faced with the truth right in front of their face, they still deny what's there. And that's the biggest travesty of all, because that's what this means. That's the exact same quote in the MAID program in Canada, except Ireland is trying to slow drip this into us under the alias and under the umbrella that this is for people who really need it, like people with terminal illnesses. But realistically, yes, that will be brought in, but there's going to be an underlying evil where they will bring in things like anybody that can just go up, as long as they've got the cognitive abilities to make a decision over 18, then they will oblige you in this act. And that is coming in, and that's what that sentence means. However, euthanasia is also recommended, in which a doctor would take the action to end life when the person wanting to die is incapable physically to administer a medical substance. Once again, so many different variables in that. What would make somebody incapable? Maybe there is somebody who is incapable in the sense that they're mentally incapable because of depression and anxiety. So the doctor might, help you out in that one. So you need to look at the devil in the detail. They're not just talking about people that are physically or cognitively incapable. They're basically saying there that, physically incapable, that could mean a lot of things. The committee report will also include a conscientious clause allowing any doctor, nurse, or medical worker not to be involved. The committee believes that no constitutional change is required, which is quite strange because I'm sure there's something to do with, preserving life in the Irish Constitution. If the Cabinet backs the plan, any legislation would need to clear both houses of the Oireachtas before the next general election. Otherwise, it all fails. The Joint Committee on Assisted Dying was established last year to consider and make recommendations for legislative and policy change related to a statutory right to assist a person to end his, her, or their life. A special Oireachtas committee has assisted dying voted by a margin of 9-3 in favour of legislating on the issue last night. There was one abstention, while another member was not present for the final vote. So you see why I would be worried about this. This is 100% not just set up for people that have got terminal illnesses, as I said, and I really need to regurgitate that. I sort of promote that. I don't like to see people suffering. But this has got an underlying evil. There is a massive difference. And if you know media language and if you know how they word things, that little sentence at the beginning was basically saying anybody over the age of 18 and has the cognitive ability to make a decision can use this program. That's what they're doing in Canada. So let's head over now and look at Canada's MAID program to understand what possibly could be coming to Ireland. Euthanasia in Canada, in its legal voluntary form, it's called medical assistance in dying, MAID, MAID. And it first became legal along with assisted delifing. Now, do you see what they've done there? So there is the difference. There is MAID, and then it also includes assisted delifing. Now, what that tells me is that it's not just for people that have got terminal illnesses, but it's also for people who just want to not be here anymore. And that's exactly what it is. And if anybody's watched the Telegraph documentaries on this, they literally go to people that have, certain things wrong with them. They're not terminal. They're maybe not living in the best life, the best quality of life. And they actually present this as an option. This is very hard to believe, but this is the truth. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet for you today. These programs are not just designed for people that have severe illnesses or terminal illnesses. These programs are set up to help all people that want to not be here anymore. And we must be very, very vocal in this. Now, whenever I posted the community post last night, there was a lot of mixed comments. People were saying, oh, it's got nothing to do with this. Oh, I welcome this because this is going to help old people or people suffering from a terminal illness, because I watched a family member. I get that and I sympathize with you. I too watched a family member at 28 years of age suffer with esophageal cancer. It was absolutely the most harrowing thing I've ever had to witness in my whole entire life. And I'll never, ever forget it. And if there was a program there to ease that suffering, we would have took it. But that's not what I'm talking about here. We're talking about people with mental health problems, the mental health crisis. And I do feel it's like that saying that David Icke talks about: problem, reaction, solution, or whatever. Maybe he says it different. And that's what this feels like. We've been told for some time now there's this mental health crisis, while at the same time they don't really promote exercise. They don't really promote clean eating. They attack us in every front, which creates an even bigger mental health crisis. So I could only imagine the amount of people in Ireland that would go to this, that would think to themselves, well, you know what? My government has given me this ability to go here and not be here anymore. So I'm actually going to take them up on this offer. And at the same time, I don't think it's a coincidence that they are bringing in droves of fighting fit men, some armed with a dangerous ideology from war-torn countries. So to me, this is like another step further to the repopulation. They give us this option while at the same time they're replacing us. Now, you can say that that's a conspiracy theory. Okay, I'm not saying that that's a fact, but for a person like myself who looks at things a little bit in depth and at a different angle, I would say that's exactly what it is. But that's just my opinion. So no matter what way you feel about this, you may be for this in the sense that you don't want people suffering. I'm the same as you, but this will be abused. This will not just stop at terminal illnesses. Look at Canada. They basically a Canadian citizen can go up and say, I've got these issues, these mental health issues. Can you give me access to this program? And they will allow that. There's a lot of people in Canada that have used this already, thousands of people. So for the people that are saying that this is just for terminal illnesses, I hope this clears it up. You have to understand the wording around this. This is not just for terminal illnesses. And the fact that you're not as educated on this subject is worrying. You need to be looking into this. You need to be doing your own research, and you need to be vocal about this. And you need to say, look, there needs to be a line drawn in the sand. Okay? For people with terminal illnesses, we agree. But this program cannot be accessed by people with mental health issues. The West at the minute is going through a mental health crisis, and I see this here, what Ireland's trying to bring in. It'll come into England, it'll come into America, it'll come in all over. I see this as a clear attack on the people of that land. We need to protect life. We need to help people. We need to let people know that they're worth being here, that they mean something, that we're all a part of this big family, and we need to get back to helping our neighbor. We live in a society today where people just don't call in their neighbor. They don't just call in for a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, to have a chat. We would rather argue with people online. These are serious issues that are coming in, and we need to be vocal about this. So hopefully I've kickstarted your research. Hopefully you will research this better than me. Hopefully you'll look into this and you'll be vocal about this and you will be totally 100% against this. As I say, we are ran by a pack of extinctionists that do not care about us. So know that, process that, understand that, and move forward in your life and fight against this. Right, guys, that's the end of the video. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and share, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. If you want to go follow me in the free speech platforms, use the links in the description. That's the links to my X, formerly known as Twitter, and my Rumble. And yeah, guys, if you're watching this on any other platform, Rumble, X, do the usual, share, heart, like, comment. These are all beautiful people all across all the different platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in. Peace.